It says, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceit. Get you out of the way.
Prophesy deceit. What's deceit? Deceit is lies. What's some lies that Nate's teaching? The Sabbath, that the microchip, well, the Sabbath is Friday night to Sunday to Saturday night every week, right? He's teaching what else? That the microchip is not the mark of the beast and the microchip is not in the Bible. That you don't have to, the name of the Lord does not matter. That's all deceits and lies. And the only way that you would follow something like that is if you're completely retarded. So them guys in Nate's school, them dudes ain't going nowhere. When the missiles comes, they gonna take part of that death. Alright? The Lord got them blinded. The only way you're gonna follow Nate is if you completely blind, wicked nigga. That's the only way. But
get you out of the way, turn aside out of the path, cause the Holy One of Israel to see from before us.
Right, turn aside from the path, what does that mean? That's what Nate did. Turn aside from the path means to start teaching lies. Now Nate's got a 501c3 charter. A 501c3 charter is basically, you're putting it's a silencer. Put on the muzzle. The muzzle's what? You, speaking the word of the Lord, the truth. They put a silencer on it. It's like when you muzzle a pit bull or you muzzle a dog. That's what a 501c3 charter is to a church. So they stop you from teaching the laws of the Lord. In other words, you got to stop serving the Most High. Now you're serving the government. You got to teach what they want you to teach. And I'm talking about all these churches. If you go to church, your church is bought and paid for by the government. So certain topics they can't speak about. They can't speak about politics. They can't speak about gay marriages that is wrong against the Bible. Anything that goes against what the government is pushing, they cannot speak against it because they have a 501c3 charter, which is a contract with the government. Which is the same thing that the wicked Jews, Pharisees, and Sadducees had back 2,000 years ago with the Roman Empire. That's why they made a statement that says Caesar's our king, because they were getting paid off by the government. And the disciples were bringing out the truth and teaching Yahweh's name, which Nate, by the way, you want that name of Yahweh to go away, the same way that the wicked Jews did back 2,000 years ago, to please who? To please that 501c3 charter, to please the Roman Empire, which is America today. Right?
It says, wherefore thus saith the Holy One of Israel, because he despised this word.
Who's the Holy One of Israel? Yahweh Shai. Read that line again.
It says, wherefore thus saith the Holy One of Israel, because he despised this word and trust in oppression and perverseness.
Trust in oppression. What's oppression? What's his thing? Nate's big thing is you gotta do what the white man says, right? You gotta obey the power, which he takes that totally out of context. Basically, he's telling you gotta be Uncle Tom and you gotta kiss the white man's ass. Read that again.
It says, wherefore thus saith the Holy One of Israel, because he despised this word and trust in oppression and
trust in oppression, trust in America. Nate's big word now, his buzzword is progress. Yeah, we trying to make progress. Now the first thing that came to my mind when I heard him say that was what they call prosperity prophets. You know, the prosperity prophets that talk about, oh, God serve the Lord and the Lord will bless you with money and dollar bills. That's not how the Lord's going to bless you. Give me Romans 11:33. Right? Because this is the progress is supposed to be trying to make. Not progress in America. You know? Becoming a police officer, moving your way up to lieutenant and then detective. The Bible ain't talking about that type of progress.
Romans 11:33. Oh, the depth of the riches, both of the wisdom and knowledge of God.
Right. So the progress you're trying to make, or the riches, all right, the prosperity what you're supposed to try to prosper in, is the knowledge and wisdom, of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. See, Nate, that's why you can't break down a simple scripture. Now you read Romans, the 3rd chapter. You did a whole lesson on that, right? In Romans, the 3rd chapter, it speaks about the Jews and it speaks about the Gentiles. When you read about the Jews, you said that represented the whole nation of Israel. And you went, retard, man. Yeah, so you broke down Romans chapter 3, saying that the Jews represented the whole nation of Israel. You're an idiot, man. The Jews represent Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. Then when you go down further in the same book, it talks about the Gentiles, which is the other tribes, the other 10 tribes, which is known as the northern tribes, which is what the whole reason why the Lord set up the disciples or the apostles, which means to be sent away.
It says, "Oh, the depth of the riches, both of the wisdom and knowledge of the Most High, how unsearchable are His judgments and His ways past finding out."
That's right. So that's why, Nate, you have no knowledge. You can't break down a simple scripture. All right? You can't break down Romans 3. You can't break down Revelation 14, 15 about the microchip. I'm pretty sure you can't break down Revelation's 11th chapter. You can't break down the Sabbath and the new moon. But yeah, you call yourself Elder Nathaniel. And us in GMS, we didn't start calling ourselves elders. We never thought of ourselves as elders. That was the name that you brothers in the spirit put on us. Elders at GMS. You know what I'm saying? Okay, go ahead.
This is Joshua, the first chapter, the 8th verse. This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to. This is Joshua, the first chapter, and the 8th verse. This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night.
Right, the book of the law. The law is not talking about just the commandments per se. The law is talking about the whole entire Bible. You know, the law is talking about the whole entire Bible, and that includes the New Testament, the scriptures about faith. All right, the whole entire Bible is the law. Every line in this book is a law. Give me that in Matthew 5. Is it 18? All right.
Matthew chapter 5, verse 18. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law till all be fulfilled.
Right, so one jot or one tittle, that's all the law. I'm talking about every single line in the Bible is a law. The reason why it's a law is because the scriptures say the Most High spoke the word, right? Every word that the Most High speaks is a law, is a commandment. Got it?
Good. It says, this book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night.
Right, so you're not supposed to teach a side of what's written in there. Getting a marriage license, that's not in the scriptures, man. All right? And then he brought out a scripture he brought out a scripture in Apocrypha. I don't remember what scripture it was. If y'all seen the show, you remember which one it was, you could bring it up. But he used a scripture in Apocrypha that said papers in it. And he tried to use that to say that proves you're supposed to get some marriage papers. When you read it, it's talking about when you read the scripture, it's talking about when you make like a deal with another brother, like a so-called business deal. Like you're gonna give me this, and I'm gonna give you this much. Like a business contract, you write a paper for it. It wasn't talking about no marriage contract. It didn't say marriage in there, nowhere in that verse. So the scriptures don't talk about getting no marriage contract. Because you get a marriage contract, just like a 501c3 charter, you got to go through the state. And the state, yo, listen, man, let's close this up tomorrow, man. Let's close this up, and then just keep an eye on that corner over there, right? Yeah, as I was saying, just like a marriage license and a 501c3 charter, both the state becomes a party. The state becomes a third party of that body, becomes the head of that body. All right. So when you get married, the state becomes a third member of that marriage. Where in the scriptures, in the Most High said you have to go to the state and get a marriage license, which you have to pay for. When you get a marriage license, that means you're getting a privilege. Who are you getting this privilege from? Granted, the privilege is being granted by who? By the state, right? Where is that in the scriptures? the privilege of marriage is a God-given right. So you don't need no license from the government to get married.
Ow! Not me!
And why the hell would you want to marry these women anyway these days, man? Go ahead, Al.
It says that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success.
Right, so that's how you make the way prosperous. But it's not this is not the prosperity that Nate is seeking. Nate is seeking to prosper here in America. You know? He's trying to get that house, mansion, or whatever. I mean, he lives in a pretty good neighborhood. I ain't gonna blow up your spot where you stay at. Where you stay at is a nice place. I mean, what more could you want? But you got that place for ripping off brothers. When you go to his site, his website, this dude got a testimonial on there. You know, testimonials. You got this dude's basically got an infomercial site. Yeah, testimonials. I went to his church, and this and that was great, blah, blah, blah. All right? Now hold that if you find me and go back to the other one. Yeah, Isaiah 30.
Isaiah 30 and 1.
So this is talking about Nate right here. Because Nate is seeking prosper from the so-called white man. Go ahead.
Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me.
Take counsel, but not of me. 501(c)(3) charter. Aren't you taking a counsel from the government? Because the governments tell you what to teach, what you can teach, what you can't teach. Well, what you can teach and what you can't teach is in the Bible already. All right, go ahead.
And that covereth with a covering, but not of my spirit.
What does that mean, a cover with a covering, but not of my spirit? Well, number one, that's talking about that our people, they don't cover themselves with the Spirit of the Lord because they're not calling themselves Israelites. They're calling themselves, got it right here, calling themselves Negro, or African American, or Puerto Rican, or Dominican, or Cuban, Seminole Indian. You're not going to find any one of these names in the Bible. What you will find in the Bible is Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Ephraim, Reuben, Levi. So that's what the Lord means by that. They cover with the covering, but not of my cover. Read that again.
Woe to the rebellious